Hi, Sparrows. Good evening to you. Welcome to the room. I am Valerie Miller of TVM, the Valerie Miller Double Fold. This very moment, you have opportunity to change. So, welcome. Come on into the room. We have Casual Pitts with us tonight. He's coming in for a round two. It's going to be great to have him in again. We're going to be talking business, entrepreneur, and kind of pick up where we left off before. And chances are we don't know which direction it's going to go in. So come on in, pull up a seat, get comfortable. He'll be in with us momentarily, as in right now. Hey, brother.
Hey, how you doing?
Fab. How about you?
Oh, man, as usual, I'm amazing.
You know I said I was going to strangle you. You know I said it.
I know, I know, I know.
It's really okay, though. It's okay. It's okay. Because that's exactly how we roll. It's really okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay. All is fabulous, right? I see some new things
yes,
happening in your world.
yes, yes, absolutely,
You
absolutely. So
know,
I'm
you know I'm
excited
going to
about
win
that.
that contest. I'm winning the contest.
Oh, come on now, come on now.
That
Y'all
that
heard it, y'all
hundred
heard it
that
now.
yeah, it's mine. It's got my name on it. That 100,000. Moi.
I know that's right. Yes,
I'm ready.
yes, yeah, yeah. I'm excited about God literally downloaded um, that particular that project into my mind, and he said, "Hey, listen, this is what we need to send out to the entrepreneurs because there's a shift that's getting ready to take place for 2024, especially for entrepreneurs. You know how you got that,
Yes.
you had the people who had mohawks, those were in, and
Yeah.
you had people who were, there's always a certain paradigm shift for
It
something,
surely
and
is.
and and it's time, it's our time, it's the entrepreneur's time for our paradigm
I was so excited to see it. I said, look at my money. Look at it.
shift.
Look at brother going
Come
to issue
on
you
now.
my money.
Come on now.
I said, who just
Absolutely.
give away 100
Absolutely.
like that? Seriously? Let me go ahead and shift over here and put TVM in the mix. Let me go on over here and
Yeah,
claim what's
yeah.
mine. Okay.
That's it.
That's what
That's
happened.
it.
Okay. As you know how we can just go ahead and just jump straight into conversation as we just did, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're going to back it up just a bit for those who did
Okay.
not join us last time. And of course, if you dropped into the room last week, I did a replay of our show to prepare for this one, even though I had not confirmed it. I knew you were going to be here, just like I know that
Yeah.
100K is mine.
Yeah.
So
It's yours.
it's mine. I would love for others to participate, though. It's always great to have great participation. But sometimes when you know, you
Absolutely.
know. I'll work on a
Right.
speech. But the thing is, give a quick overview of who you are. To me, you're Trey, the real entrepreneur.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
call
That is,
you.
listen, that is branded by Val. Trey. Pound Trey, the real entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to just give you guys a background of just who I am. I am a serial entrepreneur.
Mm.
I own 7 companies. God has blessed me with being able to put these companies down on paper with
Mm-hmm.
the vision that He's downloaded for me, and He has
Mm-hmm.
put me in a better place in my life to pretty much help entrepreneurs. And I think that's really just where I want to be at for you guys is that I just want to be a servant
Right.
to all entrepreneurs around the world. You got, Jay-Z and Beyonce who have controlled the hip hop arena, and you got
Right.
your magical football players and your magical basketball players. And there are pioneers in the industry such as Bill Gates and Donald Trump and things of that nature. However, I want to be something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave my legacy behind with knowing that I've planted knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and guidance into other
Right.
entrepreneurs' lives by giving them all of me. And I think that is the new me now. God has literally shifted me. I'm not even Val. I'm not even interested in myself anymore. Like I'm not even interested in me no more. I'm
It's no
interested in
time.
now. Yeah, I'm ready to just give all of me to as many people as I can because that's
Hmm.
how I duplicate myself.
Exactly. It's too much. I will say the word genius inside of you. And that's because I've had the conversations. I see you and what you're doing.
Yeah,
So know
right.
that I'm always watching and what you're
Absolutely.
doing. And there has been transformation this entire
Mm-hmm.
year. From the beginning of the year when we met to see this dynamic and how we communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Most wouldn't know that
Yeah.
we met online. We, you
Mm-hmm.
know, serve like it's Shaper. We'll always talk about Shaper, and little do
Yeah.
those who utilize it can see the benefits of it. And it
Yeah.
bridges relationships as you and I have tapped into. You do not know who you're going to meet on any given day, but to know that
So true.
about you and see that shift that's happening, that's why I get excited. And that's why I said, okay,
Yeah.
my brother. And we had to try to work things in where you can come back on
Yeah.
because of how I
Yeah.
have guest scheduled. So now I'm going to have to carve out
Absolutely.
somewhere, if not here on Instagram, where we can just kind of pop on more often because
Yes.
it's information that can be shared. And we both kind of distract a bit because we were talking about the book. It's still happening.
Yeah.
We just need
Oh,
to carve
absolutely. It's
out
still gonna
when
happen.
we can get into the space and
Yeah.
accept a few things, but it's all about perfect
Yeah.
timing. We just haven't tapped
Yeah.
into that time just yet, but it's happening in
Oh yeah.
2020.
Come on now.
2020.
I received that. I received that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The goal is to have
Yeah.
3 books out. So my number 2 is coming out in 2020 that I've been pushing all this year. However, it was just way too much juice that I had to go in
Yeah.
there that I was, what I can say, unbeknownst, knowing that I had so much to enter into it. I thought it was an easy breezy, quick write. Mm-mm,
Right.
mm-mm.
Right.
And then gratitude time
Right.
coming, and then our book. So it'll be 3. Trey, we roll in threes for
That's
2020.
it. That's it. 2020. We rolling threes. We rolling threes.
Okay. Now, we talked about so much before. And like I
Hmm.
said, those of you who missed the first time, it's on YouTube, The Valerie Miller, right? And then I played it again last week. Tonight, we're just going to carry on because it's more to it that we did not have time to get into before. We ran out of
Absolutely.
time. And the importance of relationships and the people that you have in your corner, the ones you believe to be in your corner, however they are not. Your support
Hmm.
team is extremely important. We have to talk about that. You can't be an
Yes.
entrepreneur and not have a team
Ooh.
of people that support you because your face will crack right down the middle when you realize the ones that you
Yep.
thought were are not.
Hmm. Ooh.
It'll knock you to your
That's
knees for
powerful,
a
Val.
second. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
real talk.
Ooh, that's
That's real
powerful.
talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have
Absolutely.
7 businesses, and I know your wife
Hmm.
is key because you can't do what you're
Hmm.
doing without her. And it's important
That's true.
for those of you that have launched businesses and you're single, divorced, whatever your dynamic looks like. However, if you're married, I can only hope and pray that your spouse is on your team because you're going to need them in ways you never have needed them before because of things that you're going to have
Yeah.
to do that you're unable to do alone and to keep happiness at home. You got to keep happy at the
Yep.
house,
Yep.
right? So, with having
Yep.
7 of these businesses and your wife, and I know
Wow.
she's in the midst of a lot of that, how are you
Mhm.
keeping the home happy? What are you doing? Because that's real talk.
And yes, and I'm so glad that we're kind of gearing towards that direction right now
Right,
because literally, Val, I've gotten to a place now because remember I've only been married for 2 years, right? So
right.
you got to go from 2000 all the way up until 2019. I've been running like wildfire, right? And every
Oh,
year
yeah.
I've always advanced, I've always accelerated, I've added more things to my plate. And just
Mm-hmm.
in 2017, I started to learn what organization was. Now, I didn't get there yet, but I was learning what organization was. So
Right.
from 2017 to 2018, I was molding myself to master organization. So then from 2018 to 2019, I started to, kind of tweak some of those things. And then from 2019, I think all the way up until I had a very deep conversation with God about 30 days ago.
Okay.
And that conversation was where he literally downloaded to me how I needed to fully master and place my organization and put it in a place to where I can make everybody happy,
Right.
right?
Right.
So literally, Val, what I did was on Sundays, I cut my phone completely off on Sundays. I don't
Hallelujah.
do no work on Sundays. I don't do no
Right.
emails. I literally
Right.
just that's my time, right? That's my time with my family. That's just my
Yes.
time. I'm not doing any. I'm not answering the phone. I'm not nothing, right?
Perfect.
And Tuesdays, every Tuesday, I have been, and I started this, and this was going through that learning phase from
Right.
2018 up until now. Every Tuesday, I would take my family out to the movies. Like after I'm done with work,
Nice.
that would be our movie night, right?
Okay.
But I'm now being more consistent in that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where I'm now making sure that it's on my schedule. It's definite that it has to be on Tuesday that we all go to the movies as a family.
Love it.
And then we do one major trip every year where we just kind of one to two. One for sure, two if we can wiggle it in, but
Yes.
definitely one for sure where we're gone for 7 days, either on the water or somewhere in another world where it's just us. So I think that I had to learn. And I think as an entrepreneur, when you are married and you have that significant other,
Right.
you have to incorporate balance between your vision, your dream,
Mm-hmm.
and then your family. And everybody has to be on board, right? And I think that's another important piece
Absolutely.
to it because I don't want those individuals to raise that question. Well, what if you're significant? Because we can go to a
That's
whole
a
nother
different
topic.
conversation. Mm-hmm.
That's a different comp for if you got somebody that's not. We have to talk on a different level
Whew.
then. But just to keep it right here, we're gonna talk about the ones that have that support system. If you
Exactly.
have that support system, in order for you to keep the support alive, you got to keep it plugged in. So you,
Constant
you gotta
communication.
you
Right.
yes,
Taking
yes,
the time off,
yes,
shutting it down, because you have to free your mind at the same time. By me
yes,
doing it individually, I can drive it
mm-hmm.
and I can drive it hard, but sometimes it can cause to be overextended. I know when to stop because I've done so
Right,
much, but that focus is so clear and driving and driving and driving toward the goals, right?
yeah,
You better
yeah,
pump the brakes. And it's necessary to do the exact same thing. Whether if you're married,
yeah,
if you're single, it's important. You have
oh
to
yeah,
have some recharge time because you can't think
yeah,
or function accordingly when you don't. You're missing out on
yeah,
very vital juice that could be, coming in. You're missing out on it
yeah,
because you're exhausted. You're trying to get this completed today. There are times you're going to have to prioritize what it is that you have to do in a day and what needs to
yeah,
transfer till tomorrow. Actually have a bedtime. Do the things that you
yeah,
have to do so you can be restored and ready for each day. And I'm having to learn that, being, that
mm-hmm.
my business is so new to where I'm doing it on my own full time. It's not something, a gig on the side. Total different
Right,
ball game. Total different.
yeah,
So when you look from there, it's eye opening because things may
yeah,
not close the way you thought it was going to close. It could be a shift in
mm-hmm.
mindset with the people that you've been investing the time in, those things, and it'll throw you right off of your scale. It'll throw you off
yeah,
if you are not careful. So, looking at it from this dynamic, the same thing, you have to take a break, and I'm forcing myself to do it. But, like you,
mm-hmm.
Sundays not happening. This past week, I took
Yeah,
Saturday and Sunday. I took
come on now,
both because I
yeah,
was like, you know what? Life is happening. I'm missing things that I don't need to be missing. with family
Yeah.
and with friends.
Yeah.
Those are keys. That
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
support that you totally need. Like I said, there are the ones that you think are and aren't, and then the ones that you think aren't are,
Are. Yep.
you
That's
know?
true. That's true. That is so true.
And having that foundation, it's not a secret to neither one of us when we say God is the center of everything for us.
That's it.
He's
That's
it.
it.
That's it. Sip on
Yep.
it,
Yep.
gulp it, ingest it. Because
Yep.
we're nothing without that. That's what the foundation is
Nope.
laid on. And you have to be able to hear and move forward with that knowledge. Whether if you call him God, Buddha, Abba, whoever you call him, there's a
Mm-hmm.
necessity necessary that you have a higher power, because it's not
Right.
even feasible for us to do anything on our own. It's not possible. We cannot do that.
Nope.
We cannot do that. And the connections and how we go about making them is going to be, key as well, because sometimes they just show up and you wonder where they came from. Like you and I connected. We
Right.
had no idea that a simple phone call
Nope.
would unveil all of this in less than what? Whatever. Whatever.
Like a couple
And I'm so
months.
grateful for it. It was a couple of months. And it's like I've known this guy an
Yeah.
entire lifetime. And it's not even that we've ever even met or we're in the same space.
Mm-hmm.
It's alignment
Yeah.
and drive and knowing what our call is and walking in the purpose that we were born in to do. Acknowledging that.
Yeah.
Once you do that, then it's easy for everything else to fall into place. But it's
Absolutely.
necessary to have your spirituality in place, to have your relationships, your home, and those people that are in your lives. And if you're just dating someone who's not on board, I've had that too. That is
Mm-hmm.
problems. It's
Yeah.
major problems.
Yeah.
It's causing you to be,
Yeah.
you're not focused because you just had an
Yeah.
argument. You can't go into a business meeting or have a call and you just had a shakedown. You can't do that. It's going to
Right.
show all of you. And it shows
Yep.
that you're
Yep.
not prepared, you're not capable, and you are.
Yeah.
So be mindful
Yeah.
of those relationships. Sometimes you got to pray about it and let Big Brother go ahead and move some stuff out of the way and just don't argue about it.
That's it. That's it. Don't fight
Don't fight it. I wish you the best.
it.
That's
Yeah.
what I said.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because it's so much in you that needs to come out, be mindful of what you have to give and serve this
Yeah.
world, because only you can serve it. Nobody else can.
Nobody
So
else.
either you're going to walk in it
Yeah.
or you're not. It's all up to
Yeah.
you. But it's possible with some sacrifices and tweaks of things that we have grown accustomed to doing on our own, building business on our own. And I just had a conversation with someone the other day that I had to let everything as I built it. It was fabulous
Mm-hmm.
as I built it. But when things had to crash, I didn't understand at first how some things has to fall down to ground zero
Yeah.
in order for you to be rebuilt the way God has intended for
God.
you to be rebuilt.
Yep.
And that is the hardest thing
Woo.
ever, ever
Man.
to accept. I'm hot thinking
Yeah.
about it. I just don't want to break
I
out into
know.
a shine like a mirror, because
Yeah. 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 I know the feeling, and I think that that's where a lot of entrepreneurs, when that's why the statistics are so high as far as the business is failing. It's not just
right,
capital, right? That was
right,
not just capital. Capital is
right,
capital plays a role in it, but now technology has overtaken its boundary to where now there are so many different platforms to get finance. You
right,
just have to be set up correctly in order for you to get access to that financing, right?
right.
So
Mm-hmm.
capital is now starting to become not even the first primary anymore. It's starting to become almost like a secondary or even a third place to the reason why businesses are shutting down. It's getting to the
Right,
point where the first place is starting to take place from when your company goes through a stagnation
right.
and you can't elevate past a certain part. What do you do? And because you
Mm-hmm.
don't know, you've never seen this place before, you don't understand it, you don't know what's going on, and it seems like everything is crumbling before your eyes, and it's like, well, I just want to quit. I might as well just quit. I might as well go back to the. I might as well go back to security. Security is
Right.
9 to 5. I might as well go back to that
Right.
9 to 5 because I know for a
Right.
fact, I got a guaranteed check coming in, and that's what entrepreneurship will do. I can't even tell you, like, maybe when I was 16 was the last time I had a job. Like, I can't tell you like when the last time I had to punch a clock. But I'm
It's
telling you
difficult
now, it is,
to go back to.
man.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, I tried to say, let me put my mindset there for a second to see if I could
No.
possibly do a day or
No, you
two.
couldn't.
It's not
Mm-mm.
gonna work.
Mm-mm.
It's not
Because
gonna,
freedom has been too great, and
yeah,
entrepreneurship will definitely prove to you if you have what it takes. When
yeah,
it gets hard like that, to where you're having thoughts of going back to the familiar, what you know you can
yeah.
guarantee. But to me, I say this: you have no business going into it in the first place if God hasn't led you to it.
Come on now.
Sometimes you can do it on your own and you're not prepared. That's why it's easy to
Yeah,
go back like that boomerang. If you know God has planted a seed in you, you can lose everything you have because your drive is for it. You want to go and you're going to do it no matter what. This is what He's
no
given
matter
me.
what.
This is what I'm doing. I can't deal with the current circumstance. I'm not gauged on what it looks like right now because tomorrow it could be that one shift. You can meet that one person just by you staying the course because there's going to be
Yeah,
multitudes of tests that you will
yeah,
have to
yeah,
pass. And the
yeah,
first
yeah.
is when you have that thought of going back to a job. And you have to also, I say this to individuals when they say to me, well, how do you do it? How can you say this strong? I said, because I don't have a choice. I know what He
That's
said,
it.
and I know what that preview looks like. So if I got to go
Mm-hmm.
through the fire right now, I've got to hike it up some mountains, I've got to fall in the lake. Oh, well, that's what I'm going to do.
Oh
Guess
well.
what? I'm going to
Yeah,
get up and I'm always going. I'm
yeah,
going to
yeah,
go. You can say what you want, but I'll be shining in
yeah.
a minute. Hold tight. You're going to get a great view because
That's
I'm not
it.
stopping. I'm not stopping. You go back over there if you want to. And like
Mm-hmm.
we said before, it's only two types of people. It's the ones who pursue their dreams to bring them realities, and then it's the ones that we
Right.
can pursue to make somebody else's realities come true.
That's it.
So
Those are your only two options.
that's the
Thomas
only
Edison
two.
said it best. Thomas Edison said it best. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
That's right. Get up. Try it again. Tweak
Try it
it.
again. Use him as an example. Can you think
Right.
about how many times people, or even Thomas Edison, knew himself that it didn't work, but that didn't stop him from moving forward, for him
Right.
leaving a legacy, and he did. He
Right.
left a legacy
Right.
behind where it's mandated now. Thomas Edison
Right.
created something that we all have to have, we have to use on an everyday basis, and that's what
Yes.
you have to shift yourself into doing is you have
Mm-hmm.
to shift yourself into legacy mode, Val. That's what it
Right.
is. It's time. You get to that threshold. You go like, okay, what's past entrepreneurship? Legacy.
Yep.
That's what's past. So you go from wanting to start something or an idea to
Yeah.
starting it to becoming a seasoned a veteran, and now you're just entrepreneur. But now what's after entrepreneur is called a legacy builder. You
Yes.
got it. When you get to that point where it becomes legacy, your mind goes into a different atmosphere to
It
where you've
is.
connected with God, and now instead of him just you praying about it, he's handing it to you to just deliver the. It's almost like a package, right? Like you got the
Exactly.
package and you have to deliver it here. You got to deliver this package there. So when you become a legacy builder, you're in a different zone. That self is gone now. You're no worried. You're no longer worried about self. You're not worried
Exactly.
about how you're gonna, because God has already given you the vision of where you're gonna be at. He's letting you
Right.
know that you're gonna get the nice house, you're gonna get the nice cars, you're gonna have the lavish bank account. However,
Right.
I need you to focus on legacy right now because you're gonna come to a point where you're gonna be like, okay, my legacy is here. I no longer need to work his vein anymore.
Right.
I can now actually retire and be like, and just watch my stuff just continuously grow for
Right.
decades and decades to come. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm in my legacy mode.
Legacy is for a lifetime, and it
Yeah,
extends past yours to your
yeah,
children, to your grandchildren. And that has got to become and remain your focal. You have
yeah.
to look at it for what it is. It's not possible to start and stop because, like you were saying with Edison, if he had stopped, there would be no light. Everything that we love so much, what if they had
Yep,
stopped?
yep,
Somebody
yep.
has to stay committed,
Yeah,
stop talking about it, however, be about it, and make your word your sincere bond. So don't put it out there and then you turn around halfway because the heat got too hot. You know, go ahead. Sometimes you're gonna have to get burned, or at least you think you're going to get burned. But it could be a cool breeze. You just thinking that
come
because
on
you're
now.
looking at it from over here. But the closer you
Hmm.
get, you know, you squint and you see that, oh shucks, I didn't know that. And then there's this thing. It's an image. It's not necessarily a quote, but it's an image of two guys. One's on the top, really chugging hard at it, trying to get there because
Right,
there's
right.
gold or diamonds or something on the other side of that brick. And then the one on the bottom
Yeah,
is like a smidgen. One more strike, he would have been there. That
he would
rascal
have been
turned
there.
around. You
Hmm.
know, he turned around. And I like to look
Yeah,
at that. I keep that image around to look at it as a reminder to say, you know what? I would hate to get that close. And all I needed to have one more swing at it. And then I can just
hmm.
crack the code on it rather than
Yeah,
turning my back and walking away and giving up on it all and getting a job, living in misery every day, knowing that's not my call, that's not what I'm supposed to do. And we only have one
yeah,
life, Cash. We only have one. So if you're
yeah.
not going to take the
That's
leap
it.
now, when are you going to do it?
Win,
Tomorrow's
win.
not promised, man. We have people
No, it's
dying
not.
left and right, dropping like light switches. When are you going to be
Yeah,
true to yourself?
yeah, absolutely.
When?
It's here it is. Without struggle, there's no progress. Without
Right,
pain, there's no deliverance.
right,
And that's just the real. Without struggle, there's no progress. Without pain, there's no deliverance. You can't you can't even get to that next level and accelerate in that next level if you don't even know what failure is. Because the
exactly.
crazy part about it is, I don't care how successful you are, there's going to always be a point in your business where you're going to have a bad month, or you may even
Mm-hmm.
have a bad couple of months, or it may even be a
Honey,
bad year.
a whole
And
year.
how do you keep yourself elevated? And that's the key, right? So you have to experience what that looks like in
Right,
order for you to be able to excel. To be like,
right.
okay, I remember, I know what this looks like. I know how to get through this. I know this
Yeah.
is. I've been here before. I've endured this pain before. I've
Mm,
endured this struggle before. So now
mm,
I know what progress looks like because I survived it. So this is what we have to do. We have to shift here. And then when it's like when I
exactly.
go through pain, I already know what deliverance looks like.
Right,
So this is what we have to do. We have to shift here. So
right,
without struggle, there is no progress. Without pain, there is no deliverance.
right. And pain is going to be there either way you look at it when it comes to growth
Either
and
way.
changing, period.
Yep.
It's pain
Period.
there for elevation or you can deplete yourself. It's painful, so you may as well soar up,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
Wow. This is juicy. It really
As
is.
always.
As
As
always.
always.
Wow. We've covered family. We've covered basically our village. We're talking about the pains of it all, being true to yourself and pushing regardless. And for those who are out here and have been around for a while and knowing how to grow what we have and not becoming comfortable in what we have known and trying things that are different, like the different platforms. It's not going to work. You know, not all are going to work for us, but it's really attaching ourselves to the ones that does, and then giving it all
Right.
you have. It's some things that I'm doing now. It's October. I've tapped into, just haven't put the info out, but it will be by Monday, with the
Okay.
advertisements and how you're going about with your advertisements. What are you doing to fish out and cast that net to draw in new
Right.
business rather than having that same familiar business? It's great to
Yeah.
have the relationships and grow those relationships. So how are you growing new relationships? How are you getting out here? Old school networking. I believe in it. Getting out, pounding the streets. It's not everything
Yeah.
virtual. You have to show your
No.
face on the streets because you don't know whose path you're going to cross that could really expedite something that you're considering doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, these platforms that I have shifted in ways I never knew when I did it a year ago, back in September, early September. I never knew that this would happen as it did. And now the change has come now because I've got to look at it differently. I can't stay the same even after one
Right.
year. I've got to add
Right.
some things. I've got to take some things away in order for it
Yeah.
to continue to grow. The seed is already planted by being present like now. So how
Yeah.
am I going to do this or that? It takes prayer and having some faith. I got to trust it. Because this to me didn't even look right. Like, who are you wanting to do this? Why? Shoot.
Right.
I'm not getting ready to do that. Some Wednesday
Oh
nights at
yeah.
7 o'clock, but did it and grateful for
Yeah.
it. However, at the same
Right.
time, you have to take those risks. You're going to have to roll the dice and do something that doesn't feel comfortable or something you never thought about. And this is a space that I'm tapping into that I've worked in years ago, briefly as a temp assignment. However, God has brought it to my full frontal fruition that this is how it's going to be in this space of now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, advertise what? You know? And so now it's all coming. It's making
Right.
sense now.
It's making sense now. Yeah.
What I thought
Yeah.
was I'm creating a platform to drive business on like the conscious coach side to give a preview of what I do in my sessions. I'm not even doing the sessions really anymore. It's completely shift to
Wow.
entertainment. What is that?
Mm.
Who said? But I have to look at it for what it is because everything
Yeah.
that you say you want is feasible to have. We just don't know how we're going to get there, but we have to be
Yeah.
open to follow our wind to get there. That's the key. Be
Yeah.
open to transition. We
Yeah.
have to do that
Yeah.
because it's pleasant,
Yeah.
surprises everywhere if we listen. Nature would tell the
That's
story.
it.
I promise you, those walks in the mornings changes my life. They do. I have too much juice before I can get back to the house to get it all done.
Wow. Wow.
You
Wow.
see?
Yeah.
But having
Yeah.
flexibility and tapping into yourself, the simple things that you do on a regular basis, align yourself with that. Pray as you walk and talk
Mm-hmm.
throughout your day. Get that information that can change everything. I promise you.
Yeah.
And because I don't know what the end result is going to look like. However, I'm excited about it because change has come. I decided last
Yeah.
week to cut my hair. Look at it, cut. That's
I
when I
know.
started
I
cutting
think
hair.
I was gonna ask you. I'm like, look at the new look. Come on now. Look at the
Change.
new look.
Change is in the house. I'm
Yeah.
preparing. Preparing. Sometimes you got to cut it off to the new growth
Yeah.
and start
Yeah.
again. You know, to be
Absolutely.
natural is one thing. I've always been that for 10 years, but when, it's like cut it, and I was like, okay, that's an indicator for me. Anybody who's known me for a length of time to know when I cut my wig, when Hollywood gets cut, it's time. Something's about to go down. Something is
Yeah.
going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just preparing for it.
Yeah.
It's the last quarter of the year. We're preparing for 2020. So we need to have vision and preparation for that.
Yes.
And if you don't have vision now, you're not going to have vision when it arrives.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. Yeah, I think that individuals need to really think about the finish line in regard to
Right.
2019.
Right.
You have to finish strong because you cannot carry any baggage over with you into 2020. And one of the things that, if I can give you a tip, one of the 4 tips I'm going to give you, one out of the 4, as an entrepreneur, especially if you're trying to start something,
Right.
piggyback off something that already exists and cater to the person that created it. Right?
Yes.
Find out
Yes.
what it is that they need, and then create something for them that they always have to reference to, right? Create
Right.
a need for the creator. And that's a tip for anybody who really wants to get into a success platform. Create
Right.
something that's a need for an individual. And that's one of the reasons why I own a marketing firm. Why? Because companies need marketing, right? That's just a
They
niche.
do.
And with me, I keep myself in a place where it's manageable for me, right? I only take 50 contracts, period, right? And my contracts last
Okay.
anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So I only have, so what does that mean? That means somebody else can create another marketing firm
Right.
and do the same exact thing, maybe add some tweaks to it, and you go out there and you can get all of the other million other contracts that's out there, right? So
Duplication.
there's
Yeah.
room for everybody to make money. You just can't sit there and say to yourself, "Oh, well, this has already been done, or this is already they're already
Who
doing this."
cares?
It's not about what are you doing? What are you
Right.
gonna do different? What
Yeah.
what
What's
makes
your
you stand
flavor? What are
out?
you going to add to it?
That, exactly,
Be
exactly,
different.
exactly. Be
But you're
different.
100% right.
You have to be different.
You're
Yeah.
everything that we do has been done before.
Yes.
It's already been
Yes.
done. We're just
Yeah.
adding our own flavor to it. So,
Yeah.
what is it that you can bring to what it is that your heart is desiring to do? What is your flavor
Yeah.
that's going to attract? Because it's definitely enough to go around. That's not an issue because the people who are for me are not going to be the ones for you, and vice versa.
Right. That's right.
People work with who they
Yep.
are in alignment with, who they have that vibe with. So
Yeah.
that's never going to be a worry. Authenticity is mandatory. Speaking your truth, being
Mandatory.
transparent,
Yep.
like we are right now tonight,
Yes.
things are going to happen. It is not rolled out red carpet because if it was,
Mm.
everybody would be on board. However, there are so many
That's it.
people who want to do things, have not chosen to make that first step because they're not willing to sacrifice the lifestyle, they're not willing to roll the dice on things that they may have to do that they're not comfortable doing. So for those,
Yeah.
I say stay planted where you are because you're not ready. You may never be ready. However,
Right.
it's there for reasons, and it's up to you to make the difference in your life when you are ready to do it. But in the meantime,
Yeah.
don't start that and then give, the whole business, the services, a bad name. You
Yeah.
know, you just
Yeah.
have to just be mindful and speak only for yourself. Because until you're willing to do the work, trust me, the reward comes. It's
Yeah.
going to
It
come.
does.
It's inevitable not
It
to.
does. Yeah. Yeah.
Holy
Absolutely.
bejeebies.
And just to touch a little bit about the team thing, really quick, Val.
Yeah.
Just to encourage you guys that if you here's my story, right? I went through 24 board members in one of my companies before
Uh-huh.
I got to a place where I had to, and that came with. Let me tell you something. I do not regret the individuals that came into my business, and I want you guys to take that mindset as well too. Never regret anything, especially for those of you who start in the network marketing, multi-level marketing arena.
Right.
But what I don't want you to do is I don't never want you to regret or ever say to yourself, "Well, I'm done with this," or "I'm done with this." Listen, because my question to you is, what experience did you have? If you didn't make any money, you had to have gained some type of experience. What was
Absolutely.
that? What did that feel like? What kind of education did you gain? And it brings it back full circle when I go to the individuals that you're seeking out to be a part of
Right.
your team.
Right.
Everybody may not be a perfect fit for your brand, your business, your
Right.
vision, but
Right.
but learn something from them, take something from them to plant into you, to then
Right.
start to seek out to be a little bit more clearer as far as who fits the description for the COO, who fits the description for a business development consultant. So in order for that to even take place, you have to go through individuals who may say, I see your vision. And here's
Right.
the thing, I always correct anybody who says that to me. Oh, I see your vision. You don't, because God only gave it to me. You believe in my
And
vision.
what you're
Now, if you
doing. Right.
believe in it,
Yeah.
then we can. But as far as for you seeing it, you can't see it because He only
Mm-hmm.
gave it to me. But you can believe in it, and as long as you believe in it, we got something. We
Yeah.
can let's build off that particular foundation. And I know that we still got a little time. I just want to just
Yeah.
share um, again. I've been through that point. So for those of you who raised that question, how do you figure out who's who? And one of the key things, Val said it earlier, you definitely have to pray. and
Right.
and and I've shifted to say this different. I'm doing this differently now. Anytime I start a business now, moving forward, I always add God to my articles of organization. I add him to my
Mm-hmm.
document, my corporate document.
Mm-hmm.
He's my treasurer. When it says location is heaven, that is
Yes.
my new voice. Because let me tell you something. In doing that, I guarantee you're going to start receiving checks and money that you never thought
Mm-hmm.
that you were supposed to receive
Mm-hmm.
in your business, all because you added God to it. You got to do more than pray. We're moving into
Right.
the times where you got to get God involved now. He needs to be involved some way, shape, form, or fashion. And the reason why is because He was one who gave you the vision anyway. So
Exactly.
how
That's where the
dare us
blueprint
not?
lies.
That's where it lies. So how dare us
Mm-hmm.
not incorporate the master into
Right.
our brain, into our business?
Yeah. If he can orchestrate us, how come he can't orchestrate everything else? I mean, how seriously? And, like when you're looking at the individuals that you are going to bring on as a part of your squad, it's so serious. I've had to do so much on my own for so long. I know I have to get help. And I'm constantly saying, you know what, God, I need help. I cannot do this by myself. You keep bringing things so often. When am I going to do it all? I can't expedite anything new because I haven't even put this one out. When am I going to do this?
Right,
So I have my niece
right.
that does a lot. She does all the graphics and things like that. So grateful for her. The virtual assistant that I had moved to Mexico. So now I've got to find a new VA, and I've put on for a PR. I need somebody to put out the things that I have to speak on my behalf. So I put out an
Yeah.
advertisement for it.
Wow.
And the twist is I'm making it voluntary for 3 months. I need to see how you're working. I need to see
Absolutely.
this
Absolutely.
and and
Absolutely.
build that trust there. However, in that 3 months, I'm going to be teaching you everything that I know. So that's your game.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
twist is it's got to be someone who's working toward having their own. So that's how it's going to be a benefit for you. After
Yeah.
90 days,
Yeah.
now we can talk about, how this is going to um, be financial for you. We can go
Yeah.
there on top of the
Yeah.
education because I'm looking at it as an
Yeah.
educational thing. But it was one individual that reached out and I set up a time for her. First, she wasn't on time. I looked at that.
Mm.
Secondly, after I had to track you down, she she said, "Could we reschedule?" Oh, so you're going to ask to reschedule at the time of? Oh, come on now. Strike two.
Mm.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm going
Right.
on, and this is typing at this time, texting versus a video call because I don't play, the phone calls anymore. No, we'd have a video call. I need to see you, how you're
Right.
conducting yourself, the whole presence. So she asked to reschedule, and I said okay. And then she typed back and said, "Is this a sales or networking type of a position? Because if so, I'm not interested." Ooh, now I'm floored. I'm floored. And my response to her was, hold on. You want to schedule to have an appointment, a conversation with me about a PR position, and you didn't research me? You don't know who you're interviewing for?
Mm,
That's what you call double clank down. Absolutely close the door, put the bolt on it. You are not welcome
yeah,
here. You
yeah.
can't come here. You need to tell me because, and one of the questions is, what is your strength and how can you contribute that to TVM? Not what your weaknesses
Mm,
are. I need to know your strengths
right, right.
because your strengths is what's going to help me soar. And when I'm soaring, you're going to be soaring. So
Mm,
she answered that really well. That's the whole point of me agreeing to have her come on. But the thing was, she didn't research me. And if you're not
mm,
researching the people that you are wanting to work with, for, or even connect with in your businesses, you're doing yourself a disservice. You better do your homework, Google it, check out the websites, drive by, do whatever you have to do, because if you don't, you're going to put yourself in a position that can serve to bite you in the rear. I'm just saying. Know who you're connecting with and ensure that they know exactly who you are as you've learned about who they are before that first initial meeting. Do your homework. So, those are going
yeah,
to be things that are necessary to keep you relevant and it shows interest, prioritizing. So, that kind of stood out to me because now it's another leg of work that I have to look at with who I bring on as a
yeah,
part of the squad.
yeah,
It's not going to be
yeah,
easy. But of course, you probably have a system down. You're going to have to share it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna tell you what the system is, and what I'm gonna do is
Mm,
I'm gonna send it to you. It's called the personality test.
okay.
So what I do is before I bring a marketing person on board, anybody, I need to know what your personality type is first. Even with
Great
my
idea.
mentees,
Hmm.
I make them take a personality test, and the reason why is because I have to know how I need to speak to you. I have to
Exactly.
know I have because one of the things that I've learned is that somebody can have the resume of being this great person and they may fit that position, right? But their personality doesn't match their resume.
Absolutely.
And
Saw
that's
that.
why what I do is when I put them on the personality test, I dive deep into it. And I'll show you how to do it, Val, because I'll give it to you and I'll show you exactly the
Okay.
triggers. But I'm
Uh-huh.
telling you, the Valerie the personality test is not a miss. It's literally on point every time about
Love
that
it.
particular person because they have to tell the truth about who they are, and that's
Hmm.
and that's the beautiful part about it. And then
Right.
that's how you mold that person into, or whether or not you say to yourself, okay, look, you know what? If you can't get past the personality test from what I'm looking for, then you're not the fit for this company. It doesn't mean that you're a
Absolutely
bad
not.
person. It doesn't mean
Hmm.
you can't do the job.
Right.
But I don't need you to just do the job. I need you to love it. I need you to be in it. I need you to be on how to evaluate. And that's how I'm shifting to bring people
Thank
into
you.
my business. That's how I'm shifting to
Right.
bring to bring new people into the forefront. Because if you don't know who your character is, you're not gonna be able to grow. You're not gonna be able to grow. And that's the key.
Yes, because you're going to end up having to let them go. You've got to take the time and bring somebody else on. That's time that's too valuable to have to be
Mm-hmm.
repetitive. Make sure you're bringing on the right people the first time
Yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah,
It's vital.
yeah.
And I promise you, it's not easy because you can talk the talk, but you're not that proof in the pudding when the time comes for you to produce.
Right.
And that causes, delay on things that you or I, or as the entrepreneur, you have to do because everybody is strategically put in those places for purpose, a well-oiled machine. And if everybody's not doing their part with the extras, then it's gonna show as evidence in everything else that's falling apart. You're missing the mark. You can't make the engagement. Something is going to reflect negative. So those are the pieces you want to go ahead and have a solution for before it's a problem.
Yeah.
So that's juice.
Yeah.
I you know what time it is.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's happened again.
Yep.
Time only moves
Yep.
forward. But
Man,
every time we get into the zone, we have to draw that line in the sand and prepare for next time. But what I will
exactly.
commit to doing, I'm going to commit to it. Even though, I have the weeks and stuff locked here on Facebook, you and I are just going to have to start jumping on Instagram
Okay.
and just utilize that platform.
Absolutely.
At least we can record
Absolutely.
it there, and then we can always
Yeah.
upload to Facebook, so still getting the
Absolutely.
information here, as well as YouTube. Every single show that I've had is on my YouTube channel. So you can always go back and get the information. But I just feel like it's the year of experience that's going to be coming and bringing your visions to life. It's time to do that. Stop talking about it, be about it, and see who you sincerely are, your true
Yeah.
identity. Because until
Yeah.
you tap into yourself, you're going to always remain irrelevant,
Yeah.
second guessing yourself, and in wonder of, I wonder if, what it would be like if I had. So stop questioning the ifs. The IF, those two letters are very powerful. You
Yeah.
step around it because it's just some underlying fear, and take the time to prepare, because even though you prepare, you're going to have hiccups and surprises. So try to be as prepared as possible. That would be my
Absolutely.
food for thought.
Absolutely. And my food for thought for tonight to leave you guys with is a story, really quick. It's gonna wrap you guys up.
You
But there
don't
was a
have
young
quick
lady.
stories.
This one is quick, I promise. There was a young
Okay.
lady who was in the church, and she came up. She was looking in the church, and everybody was on their phones and stuff like that. She came up to the pastor. She said, "Hey, I'm after being here for 6 months. I'm leaving this church." And the pastor said, "Well, why are you leaving the church?" Well, because people are not paying attention. They're not looking. They're not paying attention to the word. They're not taking none of your advice that you're giving across the pulpit. So I'm leaving because nobody in here is really into God like they should be. So he said, "Before you leave,
Right.
let me. Can you do one thing for me?" She said, "Yeah, sure." He said, "I want you to take a glass of water and I want you to walk around the church 2 times. And I do not want you to drop any water." She was like, "Okay, I can do that." So she walked around the church twice and she came back to the pastor. She was like, "I'm done." He was like, "So you didn't drop any water?" She said, "No." She said, "Well, as you were walking around the church twice, did you see anybody on their phone? Did you see anybody not getting saved? Did you see anybody not paying attention to God?" She said, "Well, I didn't have the time to because I had to keep my eyes on the glass so I wouldn't drop any water." He said, "When you come to church, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to keep your eyes on God and not by the people who are looking into what they're looking into." See,
Exactly.
if you, so I said all that to say the moral of the story is keep your eyes on the vision that God is giving you. Don't
Right.
look at all of the distractions and focus on the distractions and, like Val said, on the ifs or the what would happen or what could happen. Don't focus on that. Focus on the vision
Right.
that he's given you so you can stay on the right path and stay on the right track. And then and only then will you know how to overcome those obstacles that you may endure as being that great entrepreneur who God has made you to be.
That's a mic drop. And a bubble pop. And a double lane. Stay in yours.
Yes.
Stop worrying
Yes.
about other people. They are not
Yeah.
your concern. And that is a huge problem with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So busy nosying in somebody else's business and not concerned about theirs. If you are true and sincerely focused on yours, you don't have time to worry about your neighbors or what anybody else is doing, because you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. So yeah, that was a great story. That was a good one. Oh my gosh. And you are contacted how?
Absolutely. So you guys can definitely reach me on social media. My first name is Casual, last name is Pitts, and it's spelled Casuel, and then last name is Pitts, Pitts. Um, all over social media. One of my companies that I'm promoting right now, there's two of them. I'm gonna give you guys a plug for two. My
Mm-hmm.
membership association, which is Ultimate Discount Services Inc. The
Love
website
that.
is www.udsinc.us. And for those of you who are entrepreneurs, we have a competition that's coming up. Submission ends December the 31st. Okay, December the 31st. The website to submit is www.myempire.biz. Again, www.myempire.biz. Submissions in on December the 31st. We're moving 10,000 businesses to round two. This is round one. All you got to do is submit a one pager. Just a simple one page of a summary of your business, who you are, what you do, what you're looking to do in the industry. In a one pager, submit that document, and then we're going to start voting on December the 1st. The vote should come out, I think,
Yes.
January the 5th. The 10,000 businesses that we've selected to move to round two. And then you guys will get the instructions on what the next step is for round two. The end result, the winner, the first prize winner will win $100,000. The second prize winner will win 50,000, and then the third prize winner will win $25,000. And now there's more to it. I know we don't have time right now, but just go to the
Yeah.
website and just submit your business. All entrepreneurs submit your business.
You can't get any clearer than that. However, if you could post that information into
Yes,
comments so they can always
yes,
go back and get it, I think
absolutely.
that will help a lot. Although I am the winner of the $100,000, and I want them to keep themselves optimistic for whomever get
Yeah.
that 50,000. But if you're privy to be one of the 10,000, you've already won. You've
Yeah,
already won, and you've actually
yeah,
surpassed the 100,000. When you can
yeah,
have your business up and going, it's running sufficiently, then you don't have anything to worry about because you've made that and
absolutely.
some. And
Yeah,
you're hiring staff. You're giving someone opportunities to have employment. You're giving them opportunities to learn entrepreneurship. That is what my goal is. It's not about me
yeah,
and doing that. I want to teach others how to do the same thing while they're up under me, not to come under me and stay. Don't get comfortable. Learn all you can learn and then go do your own.
yeah,
That's what my goal is for
yeah.
them. And thinking like that, think outside the box, and then you guys can win the $100,000 for next time.
That's it.
But I'm
That's
going to
it.
win it this time. I've already put a stake on that. The minute I saw it, I said, look at my money. But
Come on now.
you know, I'm grateful for you. You know, it's
Yeah,
always a joy to have you in the room.
absolutely.
We haven't had not one opportunity to answer one comment, not a one.
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry
that's
about
expected. It's
it.
okay because we'll still
Yeah,
get to answer it. We just have to go in and just respond
absolutely.
that way. But I knew when we start talking business, for the longest time I had my glasses off, so I couldn't see for that very reason. So we'll just go back and have some engagement and just know
Yes,
that it's going to be something that's continual between myself and Casual because it's not a one or two or three time situation. It's going to be something that's going to take some transformation and molding and sculpting when it comes to businesses. He's such a veteran at this point. I'm the new kid on the block that I'm figuring things out on my own, but there are times I don't need to figure it out. I can just ask him
yeah,
because
yes,
he's done
ma'am.
it in so many ways. And it's not because, you don't know. There are times you're going to have to ask for
Yes.
help in spaces. Don't be so prideful not to ask because this is your baby. This is something that you need. And if you can get info from me, do that. If you can get info from Cash, do that. Not saying that you have to go by our blueprint. It's not that. You take the pieces from
Right.
us and what we've shared with you to make it work with what your needs are.
Yes.
That is what I will say to that. You can't be afraid to ask. Please don't do that, you know? So that's all the juice we have, bro. This is all we
Absolutely.
have for now.
Yes. For now.
And we've
Well,
got to
thank
get
you
back
for
on
having me.
calendar,
Yes.
you know?
We got to get
You're
back on
welcome.
calendar.
Yeah. Because that book is still out, it's hanging in the wind. But
Yeah.
we know it's happening.
Yes.
We know it's
Yes, it
happening.
is. Yes, it is.
I'm excited. I'm ready. We will be ready going
Yes.
into.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it won't take long once we just get what's remaining. Okay.
Yep.
So kudos to you. Thank you for coming in with me
Absolutely.
tonight, and we'll get
Thank you for
another
having me.
date.
Yes.
You're welcome and location. And thanks to all the sparrows that dropped into the room. I know I don't have to ask or say, hopefully, you took away some great advice. I know you did. Just apply it to the best of your abilities within your organizations. And like I said, stay in tune with those that can help you. Don't be afraid to ask because they're not afraid to answer. Okay? Whether it's me, Cash, or someone else that you know that has a business and you see it soaring. When you need to know something, ask. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And on that note, I'm going to say, love without conditions, always possess a positive attitude, and soar in all you do. I love you, mean it. Switches. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.
All right.